Hello, welcome to part 4. In just a few seconds, we're going to go over 10 things to fix the WWE. Just little tweaks.
In depth, not like countdowns.
No, we're going to go in depth.
In depth on how they can fix different things that are not going in the right direction for the WWE. And it's not major surgery.
It's not major surgery.
Simple things that's going to fix the way business is being done and might change the business for the better.
Oh, yes,
all over again.
When I read that, I marked out over it.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be like the Attitude Era, which everybody marked out for.
No.
But you know what? We can be PG Era and still have a good product.
But this could be the Attitude Era Part 2.
Part 2.
So we'll be right back in a few seconds to talk about that.
Mark out.
Yeah. You feel it, baby? I get too.
Hello, buddy, and welcome to Tyro Reality episode 38, part 4. Now you get your 4 right.
Does it? No, it's not.
Yes.
It is.
We are.
We are.
You're losing your mind here.
What's wrong with you people? It's part 4.
As we talk about 10 little fixes, not much, little fixes
Tiny ones.
to help the WWE get out of the rut that they're in.
They're in a rut.
They're in a rut. They think, hey, we're the big dog on the porch. No one else is competition.
You know what happens
So
when
we
you think
don't
that
have
way?
to do anything.
You know what happens when you think that way?
Go
You
out of
get
business.
caught sleeping on the job
Yep.
and you get in trouble. And somebody's going to come up behind and take your spot. It could happen.
It could happen. I'm not saying.
Anything can happen. Anything.
Well, let's start out with number 10.
Number 2.
Something kind of small, but would be a big boost to SmackDown.
It would be. Be something different.
Put Joey Styles and Christian on SmackDown.
As the announcers.
Yes, take Michael Cole and JBL. You've got Raw.
That's right.
Go to Raw. Don't come to SmackDown. We don't see your faces 2 times a week.
It's like deja vu.
It is. Because when they're on SmackDown, what are they doing? Review what happened on Raw.
Yep.
Let's don't talk about that. That's what your other shows are for. You know.
Yep.
How about
So
you
you
put
have superstars.
How about you put a show on the network that does the reviews of Raw and SmackDown?
We're going to do that little talk show.
They
Remember?
need to.
We're going to do a
Stop
talk show.
trying to-
They fired Josh Matthews. So
Stop
they
trying to
can't
do 20 minutes of that on SmackDown. Review what happened on Raw.
Yes, they could do a talk show with Tom Phillips now. More than 5
But I
minutes.
think that would help a lot.
It would. It'd be
and
different. It
Joey
would
Styles-
sound different.
It would. And don't be in Joey Styles and Christian's era. Let them do their thing.
Yeah, I don't think they want to do that.
No.
Number 9, hire some designated jobbers. While having jobbers take over some Raw and SmackDown matches isn't the most exciting choice, it will give the regular roster a break and save them from overexposure. That's a very small price to pay in the long run. And that's true because too many times the jobbers end up being the Heath Slaters, the Titus O'Neills, the Zack Ryders, the Tyson Kids sometimes.
Yes.
I mean, those people do not need to become their designated jobbers. You need to just have people like Joe Blow over here.
They got people in NXT. Not the main roster NXT, but people who had been on TV.
Exactly.
Hey, there's some exposure. Get up there, take your loss, then you can head on back to NXT.
Exactly.
Go back to the training center, and then they won't know you. By the time you make it big,
Yeah.
if you make it big, that loss to whoever you lost to on
Will
Raw or
never matter.
SmackDown will not matter.
Nope.
As the Hardy Boys. They used to be jobbers,
Yup.
so they've been beat by a bunch of people. Then they finally went away for a while, come back, and they became what they become today.
Exactly.
So, look at it. Number 8, call up Zayn, Neville, the Ascension, and more. I mean, there's people ready. Charlotte should be ready to go. Sami Zayn's ready to go. Adrian Neville's ready to go. Ascension's ready to go. I mean, these people are ready.
They
and
are.
like you said, you read where Finn Balor said he's not going to spend a lot of time in NXT.
Yep.
And that's fine. I mean, after WrestleMania, you need to have a new crop of people come up.
That's it.
The fresh faces, I'm sorry, they need to, go somewhere else.
Yep.
So,
That's true. Also, number 7, hire 3 tag teams. Daniels and Kazarian, the Young Bucks, and Red Dragon. It would be a great idea.
Yes.
Even if Daniels is where he is at his age, I still think they could use that. He could help develop the younger wrestlers. It would be a great way to have some, and even with the Bucks and Red Dragon, they got years of being around still.
and with Daniels and Kazarian, they don't sign him to a big deal. 2-3 years at most.
Just to
He
help
come
out.
in,
Yep.
he can help people, and then after he's done, if he wants to go somewhere else, he's fine. If he wants to stay, Put him at the end. Put him at the center, and let him help groom wrestlers.
Yep.
It's helping make your product better, people. That should be the main objective. To get your egos out of the way, and let's start. You need to make some changes here.
That's it.
Number 6, add a babyface authority figure.
Yep.
I mean, that is okay. I mean, it's been running the ground. The bad guys always are the bad guys are always the authority figure.
Yep.
I mean, we can change it up some. I mean, Daniel Bryan being the one-day GM was good. I like him all the time. He has nothing to do. Why not make him the permanent GM for right now? Or have Steen come in and be GM. Or even Mick Foley. Even when Mick Foley was commissioner and all that. That was funny.
Yep.
I mean, it's time for the heels to have some trouble. Instead of always on the faces. The same old, same old, same old, same old. Let's try and switch it up here, folks. I mean, either go with a face authority figure or none at all.
Yep. There you go, exactly. Number 5, protect 10 guys. Far too often they've got 1,000 matches over and over. You see Randy Orton Johnson, Randy Orton Johnson, Randy Orton Johnson.
Yes.
You see, Dolph and Kane, or you're going to see Kane and Ryback 1,000 more times now. They need to, by using these jobbers that we were talking about, it would save guys. It would help them to get top guys again instead of continually to leave the mid-carder guys where they're at. That can help elevate them to the upper card.
Yeah.
It'd be a great idea.
Because back on Raw when it first started, if you go look back on the network for $9.99,
Exactly.
you can mark out for the first episode and on all the ones they do. There was jobbers on that Raw. They had the big guys beating up jobbers, and then the main event was 2 people who were part of the roster.
Exactly. Damian Demento, he took a good loss.
He did, but that was just an hour. But
Right.
you could do that. I mean, you could have. Don't give us every match has to be this guy versus this guy, because you know what's going to happen on SmackDown? We're going to see this guy versus this guy again. We just saw it.
Exactly.
And if you're going to have a match at a pay-per-view, I do not want to see you wrestle the guy you're wrestling at the pay-per-view.
Throughout the whole 4 weeks leading up
Yes.
to it,
Don't touch each other. That's what the jobbers are for.
yeah. Yep.
But you're right. They do need to have at least 10 they protect. And right now they got 1 they protect.
Yes, Johnson.
All right, number 4. Guest stars must go. Yes. It was fun while it lasted, but then it got out of the way. It got overblown. It was just anybody who wanted to. And then they know your product. If you're going to do it, at least do people that know the product.
Yep. Like the Freddie Prinze Jr.'s. I mean, he knows the product. He was a writer.
Seth Green.
Seth Green.
Who's going to be on the Slammies.
He does enjoy wrestling. Yeah.
He's going to do the product. I believe that. I mean, it was older for Larry the Cable Guy, but I think he still knows the product or knew it. At least he had some background in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
These people you're going to hear for selling, like Kathy Lee Gifford and the other one, that was just stupid, and they don't know. They wouldn't know John Cena from Mark Cena.
True.
So
I mean, it was the same way with they did the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
One of the guys hated being on there. The guy that was on Will and Grace. I mean, Will Sasso's the only one that knows about wrestling.
Yes.
He was big wrestling fan.
Yes. And see that you need to, if you're going to do it, which I don't like it, I hate it. If you do, at least get people who know your business and respect your business, and will do a decent job because they like it and they don't want it to suck.
Yep. All right, number 3, promote the Intercontinental title, and they're starting to do that more.
Yeah, because Brock's not there.
Exactly. But I mean, there's people that held the, even like the U.S. title, like when Dean held it. When
Yes.
did he defend it? When he lost it. That's
Pretty
how it
much.
felt. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Dolph
And I'm afraid they're going
says-
to do Rusev that way now.
Dolph has lost when he was the champion. Lost 5 televised one-on-one non-title matches. Miz held the title for 1 day. And then in July, he lost both of his televised non-title one-on-one matches before dropping the title to Dolph a month later.
Yes.
And Curtis Axel, I mean, his reign, oh my gosh.
I think they gave it to him just because of Father's Day and who his father was, and that's about it.
Yep, exactly. So honestly, they need to, I mean, they only make it mean something because Brock's not around, so they don't have another main title to make something mean.
Right.
But they need to make it mean something even when the WWE World
You're
title's
right.
around. They really do.
And see what gets me is they keep talking how great it is. I'm going to kind of go off script here.
Right.
About how great it is. Oh, we don't need to see the champion all the time unless John Cena gets it.
Okay.
Hey, I would love 2 or 3 weeks go by we don't see John Cena if he's champion.
Yep.
But no, they jam John Cena down our throat, but say it's okay for it's fine for Brock. It kind of adds more mystique to the title of not seeing it every week.
Right.
Well, let's keep the standard up then if it's okay when John Cena or somebody else has the title.
Like John Cena, Randy Orton, those type people, yeah.
Yeah, let's see him go away for miss 2 or 3 pay-per-views. Okay, if it means so much, if it's so much prestige for not to show up, then let's do it when Brock is not holding the title. Because I sure y'all had a problem with Daniel Bryan. Oh, well, no. Daniel Bryan can't keep the title when he's hurt.
Right.
So let's take the title off. But it's all right for Brock to miss 2, 3, 5 pay-per-views, it feels like. So, yeah. Don't be double standard on that. But yes, they do, you're right, they do need to make the Intercontinental title feel like a world title. Feel prestige. Don't give it to the guy and go, oh, you're a jobber now because you're going to lose all the time. Because how many times over the years have we saw that? That a guy got the Intercontinental title and just started losing then all of a sudden.
Yep. All the time here, a whole lot in the last few years.
Well, since you love number 2, you are big time on number 2, I'm going to let you do number 2.
Okay, we talked about it in Carter's Corner.
We did. It was a whole segment by itself.
It was a whole segment. Reinstate the brand split. Needs to happen. In my opinion, has to happen because it makes it to where, you know, when you see Dolph Ziggler on TV 100 times a year, it makes it so mundane,
right.
So blah all the time. Make it to where you only see these people on Raw, you only see these people on SmackDown, so guess what? You're looking forward to SmackDown because you didn't get to see those people on Raw.
Well, they said as of November 10th, Dolph has wrestled over 80 matches.
Wow.
14.
Wow.
Counting the Raw, SmackDown pay-per-views, main event, and Superstars. Over 80 matches for one person.
Wow.
But you're right. It does help. Okay, my guy is not on Raw, but one of my guys is, and my other one's on SmackDown, so I want to see both of them here.
Harris says, there's a reason why major TV shows only air 10 to 22 times a year. As good as The Walking Dead is, the fan base would have fallen off a cliff if they did 50 episodes a year.
You're right.
There's only so much fans can take of a good thing, and WWE has left us stuffed and not hungry for more. You got to have cliffhanger. You got to, I got to watch that. I've got to see it. And here's my other thing. Don't advertise a match Monday night saying this is what's going to happen on Friday Night SmackDown, and then the very next night when you tape it on Tuesday, the match completely scrapped and it's totally something else.
Yeah,
they do it all the time.
They are getting on a bad note to do that.
Like even in Survivor Series, at the end of it, they were in the post show. They were supposed to have comments from Vince McMahon.
Right.
Never happened.
It ran over that time. I could see that. It ran over because they'd had to start back up on pay-per-view, so I can understand that.
It's just
but
strange.
You're right.
Don't advertise.
But don't
if you're not
advertise
gonna
a
do
match,
it.
and they do, and on main event they do. They advertise for main event,
And then it's changed.
and then it's changed, and the guys on it there, or the two people that's in there are talking that match. You're like,
Exactly.
what in the world? Well, number 1 is the best one, and would make SmackDown what it used to be when you had Hunter and Rock and Austin on there. While they were on SmackDown. Can you believe it?
Yep.
When was the last time John Cena was even smelt SmackDown?
Long time ago.
Oh, he was there backstage before they went on their trip overseas, but he didn't. He wasn't. He ain't good enough to
Right.
step out in front of camera.
Right.
See, what's one of the problems there. They want SmackDown to be. Like they said, they want it to be not the A and B show,
Right.
but both A shows. Well, you get your talent. You got to tell your talent, hey, you're one of our top guys. You're going to be on SmackDown. You're going to wrestle on SmackDown. But what would make SmackDown probably better than Raw?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's competition for Vince there. Is put Paul Heyman in control of SmackDown.
That was competition back in the day when they used to do it like that.
Now,
They had
they
two
can't-
separate writing teams.
Oh yeah, but Stephanie, I don't think her ego can stand it.
Probably not.
Hunter, Hunter's hard to read. It looks like sometimes he's keeping people down, and it looks like sometimes he's doing stuff to make what it used to be, to
Right.
make the business better.
I do like what this says.
But he does know where his apron strings are.
I
and
do
it's
like
with
where it
Stephanie.
says all WWE needs to do is watch their own network to have seen the magic in the past that Paul Heyman has put together on SmackDown. SmackDown used to beat the Raw ratings when Paul Heyman was in charge of writing.
And they don't like that
Nope.
because Raw is supposed to be the flagship show. Well, guess what? You don't write it for the flagship show.
Right.
Hey, put Paul Heyman in charge of Raw then. How about that? If you want to beat people, if you want people to go, well, I'd rather watch Raw than watch NFL,
Right.
then you need to do something about it. Vince on Austin's podcast saying everybody's competition. Yeah, they are. But if you suck, then they're going to go watch other things. They're going to watch football. They're going to watch this show. They're going to watch this and this.
But here's the other thing. He said everything's competition, but here's the other part. Here's the other side of what he said. He said that the current roster, except for quite a few, like Ambrose, Rollins, and Bray Wyatt, are not as ambitious as they were in the Attitude Era. Let me reverse that for a moment. Let me reverse that on to...
Marking out here now. You get me standing up here.
Let me reverse that off of the roster and onto management and creative. Maybe the creative team was more ambitious in the Attitude Era than they are now.
Yeah.
They are not as ambitious. I think they're resting on their laurels. I do not think that the backstage workers, that the creative team and management are as ambitious as they used to be. They don't crave it as much. Because even Vince said, well, our ratings aren't as good as they used to be.
No,
the Attitude Era, but they're holding their own. No, let's not hold your own. Let's go above and beyond.
Yes. I mean, they were showing the Monday Night Wars. You're looking at it going, wow, both.
Like 8s and 9s.
Both of them.
Yeah.
They both get at least 6 or better. Both shows. And then it started changing.
So you combine those two numbers together, and that's how many people were watching wrestling.
Yes.
Where'd they go?
Where did they go? I know you're saying, well, a lot of them were WCW fans. So no, that was like 6 and 8s for Raw and 6 and 8s for Nitro.
And the 6 and 8s for Raw has gone down to 3.5s and 4s.
If you look at sometimes when Raw was taking over, Nitro was going out. What was Nitro at? 3s and 2s.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. That's a very good point. I want to mark out for you because that's true.
Yeah.
How about you get off the wrestlers' backs because you handcuff them, and once you get on to the writing team and start having these stupid soap opera writers, they write for soap operas, not wrestling.
Like
yes,
Rachel.
I know they go, oh well, wrestling is, yes it is. It is a soap opera.
Right.
But let's have put some wrestlers in there backstage writing for it, because I don't ever hear anything about soap opera wrestlers back in the Attitude Era when everybody loved it.
Nope, they were all supposed to be extensions of themselves. Real.
You took away blood. You took away chair shots to the head, which, okay, you don't want to give people concussions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with no blood. But let's write some decent storylines. Let's think, people. Because you're not thinking. You're going, okay, we'll let him face, and then, oh, we're going to do the same thing with SmackDown. And then we're going to do it on the pay-per-view.
And then don't have somebody run as a heel on main event, a face on SmackDown.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
But that's little things, and plus our rants here, like we always get into. But yeah,
Of course.
it's too much ego to make Paul Heyman SmackDown.
Oh, of
And if Paul Heyman, and there's on TNA, too much ego with Dixie. If Paul Heyman would have got what he wanted from TNA, TNA would be competition.
And I guarantee you Spike would keep him around.
Yes, because they would be competition.
Heyman said as long as they would have gave him this demand and this demand and this demand, he would have taken over, and I guarantee you there would be a definite number 2 spot in the wrestling business.
Oh, yes.
NXT would not be number 2.
No.
Because NXT is number 2 in my opinion. Even though it's owned by the same people.
NXT is looking like number 1.
If you're pure
There's a few
into
things.
wrestling,
I mean,
yes.
because those these people are new and fresh, and they do
They're
make mistakes,
hungry.
and they you can tell they're green, a little green.
But they're hungry.
But the product is great. The writing is great, and the wrestling is great. Why can't Raw do that? Why can't SmackDown do that?
Have you heard about what they said on there about when one spot is gone, a spot is taken? Basically, as a kind of not verbatim what they said,
Right.
but basically there's a sign, a banner up on the wall, basically saying, when one person leaves, another one takes the spot.
Yes.
So it's a dog-eat-dog world, and the NXT people realize that, and I think they are hungry. And if their hunger, I hope and pray this happens, but if their hunger of like the Sami Zayns and the Adrian Nevilles and the Finn and the Tommys and
Kevin Owens,
if their hunger and ambition rolls over into the main roster and rolls over onto the creative team and people's juices get flowing, I honestly think things could get better.
The bad thing about it, they do come up and they get handcuffed.
Right.
That's the sad part
Triple
about
H, it seems like in NXT they kind of let them go and let them loose.
Yeah, because we're on the network. We ain't got too many standards to worry about.
There's not standards and practices.
But when we go
they get
to big
handcuffed
up,
on the
we
main
get
roster.
handcuffed.
Yeah.
Oh, don't fly off the ring like that. Don't do that type of move because somebody else does it. Oh, don't do that. You just got to follow. Hey, come on, sheeple, follow in line here behind John Cena. Here, read the script. Oh, don't go from your heart so people feel like it's true and real. Read this like we wrote it because we know how you're supposed to feel.
Right. Oh, I agree.
Well, that was an interesting part there, folks. And we'll have a lot more to talk about TNA.
And I think all in all, Mark, we both feel smart, and we're out.